What's going on, guys? In today's video, it's going to be about the Logan Parks Fishing Chaos Tournament. This was the tournament that a little bit different than usual, and it was the opportunity for a high school angler to get paired with a college angler through a draft system and spend a day out on the water. Me and my partner Rooksby actually walked away with first place and won the $15,000. It was a super cool day on the water and definitely one I'll never forget. I want to give a huge shout out to Logan Parks and his family. I know how much effort it takes to put on one of these, and they did a phenomenal job from start to finish. They're actually doing it again next year, which I was really hoping them to see. It has so many positive effects on both colleges and high schoolers, so y'all please mark your calendars next year and go out and support this event. But without further ado, in today's video, I want to go over some of my practice footage and really break down some of the nuances and adjustments I made to kind of fit this every fish counts format that made us successful during the tournament. And later in the video, we'll actually go through some of the tournament footage. I'll explain what I'm doing and just give a couple keys to what really made our day successful. But like I said, it was an incredible day getting to share some of my college fishing experiences and teaching him a new technique. That's what bass fishing is all about, sharing your passion with others. This event was phenomenal, so let's jump into it. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and jump into some of my practice footage. When I immediately got to the lake, I just kind of idled around for a second, kind of looked at the water temperature, saw the water clarity, and I've heard a lot about Lake Martin, but I actually personally have never been there. So I kind of idled over to this first island, dropped the trolling motor in the water, and just started panning around with live scope. On this first spot, I actually caught, I think, 5 to 10 on a shaky head, and pretty much every fish I was seeing on the graph was either reacting to my bait or actually going to eat it. So that gave me an incredible amount of confidence going into this event from the start, getting to know that these fish are able to see my bait and react to it just like back home at Lanier or Hartwell. So I spent a few hours just kind of idling around, looking at different areas, and I think about 2 hours into practice, I actually rolled into the first ditch where I dropped on one with a Damiki rig. I only saw a couple fish on the graph at this point, and when I dropped down, I actually saw about 20 or 30 come off the bottom. I really wasn't expecting this event to be kind of like a ditch event, but I guess the weather and things set up for it to be, and I ended up catching a bunch of them repetitively back to back, and I knew in this tournament it was a style in which every fish counts, and there's 2 qualifying periods and then a championship period, so definitely catching fish in a hurry was the objective. So I kind of ruled out picking off those small wolf packs and singles with a shaky head or a jig or a jerkbait, something like that. It wasn't going to be quick enough and not as fast paced to keep up with that score tracker, if you will. So that first day of practice kind of gave me a little bit of hint of what I should be doing. Definitely ruled some things out and found a few productive areas. But moving into my second and final day of practice, I launched the boat, got out there really early in the morning, and I decided I was going to run ditches in the morning to see if it was kind of like a viable option for me. Pulled up in the first one, saw about 100 of them, pushed in the back, and caught them pretty much every cast on that Damiki rig again. Ran a few more, found a kind of dead zone for about 3 hours, didn't get much feedback, and then really kind of picked out one area of the lake and found 10 or 15 ditches in that area that had that right mixture of bait and fish and depth, and it was kind of the perfect storm for all that because I could run half a mile to each of these ditches, keep my bait in the water, and just maximize efficiency. And on that second day, like I have been talking about, I'm catching a lot of fish on that 3/8 ounce Damiki rig. It's super effective to hit those deep fish, and your bait gets right to them in a hurry. But I often found myself kind of messing with the plastic and eating up a lot of time trying to get it back straight after I caught one. So I actually tied on a jigging spoon at about 10 o'clock and started wrecking on them. And for me, the jigging spoon was the bait for this tournament for a couple reasons. One, it was so heavy I could hit these fish extremely fast. Also, I had a treble hook, and it's essentially a piece of metal, so as soon as I catch one, I can drop it right back down there. I don't have to worry about the bait getting fouled up or anything, or the plastic sliding down, and it was the most efficient bait for me this week, and I think that really gave us an edge on everyone else just to be able to really maximize our efficiency. So we're going to go through a couple of the clips right here, so y'all stay tuned, and we'll see y'all in the tournament footage. Alright guys, let's go ahead and jump into the actual tournament footage. Now I want to give a little bit of context on how this tournament actually operates. It's a lot different than your traditional 5-fish limit. Essentially, there are 2 qualifying periods in which they take the top 12 to the championship round, which we were fortunate to make. There's also a sudden death category in which they take the top 3. So essentially, there's 15 teams in that championship period. And that was pretty much the goal for the entire day. And once that championship period started, you had an hour and 30 minutes to catch as much as you can. They disabled all the leaderboards, couldn't even see what we had or what we had caught. So it made it super hectic and really exciting to just keep us on edge in that last period to see if we had enough to make it. And we didn't know until we actually got back to Auburn and began the trophy ceremony. So that was super exciting and a really cool element that they integrated. So if you do have the opportunity to fish this tournament next year, I would definitely do it. It really kind of breaks the normality of weighing 5 fish and taking them to the scales. It's a lot more intense, and it's not quite like an MLF style. There's a couple more cool twists to always keep you in the game. So without further ado, I'm gonna show a couple of the footage clips. And we caught a lot of fish on that Damiki and spoon. Spent most of the day doubled up, dropping on those large schools. I'm going to show a couple of the clips of my Garmin that I took in practice of some of those big schools, and then mix in some of the tournament double ups and just some of the highlights throughout the day. But super fortunate to walk away with this win. If you are looking to pick up any of the Shimano or G-Loomis products, I primarily used an 852S for the Damiki rig and an 854C for that spoon. The Dugout Bait and Tackle will have you covered. They have all the Flexit spoons I used throughout this tournament, along with the Bad Little Shad heads by Greenfish. So y'all give them a huge shout out and check them out if you're looking to pick up anything you saw in this video. Those are things you're going to want to have on your deck for the entirety of this winter. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some of those clips of my Garmin LiveScope 2D and some of the tournament footage. Appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see y'all in the next video. What's going on, guys? Brooks Anderson here. We're currently fishing the Logan Parks Chaos Tournament. We're about 20 minutes from lines in. I'm here with my partner, Rooksby.
Super excited.
I think it's going to be a really fun day out here. We're going to be primarily targeting these fish in ditches. Just pulled up to the first one. Already saw some fish on bait. So hopefully when that timer goes off, we can get our baits in there and start off on the right foot. But we'll keep y'all posted and let you know how we do today.